If you're a grappler that gets lower back pain when they're doing jiu-jitsu, or symptoms start to come on a night or the next morning, then hopefully this video will give you the confidence in training these areas and starting to build some resilience in your spine, because your body is designed to grow stronger and it's designed to grow more resilient based on the stress in which you place on it. However, the limiting factor and the gap is fear from pain and fear of making it worse, right? I'm going to cover a little bit of that in this video, but I'm going to give you a program to follow to get you out of this. So what I'm going to cover today is pain and fear, touch on the emotions, because these emotions don't just apply to the spine. They apply to you if you've got a sore knee, they apply to you if you've got a sore shoulder, elbow. It's exactly the same problems, they're exactly the same reasons in which people are choosing not to load their spine. Maybe they've just retired. Maybe their social expectations is to relax, take your foot off the gas. Maybe that's the reason these issues come around in the first place. I'm going to talk about the spine, what it does, what it's meant to do, and how it gets strong. I'm going to talk about how you can load your spine specifically and safely. For those that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Paul Green. I'm a former British paratrooper and Special Forces support group operator. Fortunately, most of my years over the past decade I've spent as a physical training instructor training thousands of elite soldiers. Now I use exactly the same principles in helping grapplers delete injuries and build physical body armour. The first mindset hurdle you need to overcome is that pain isn't the problem. Pain is a response to a problem. It sounds so simple, but it probably doesn't go in the first time I even say that. People spend most of their time trying to address the pain, and they're wondering why the problem keeps coming back. It's because the pain's not the problem. The pain just creates that hormone response of fear. Shit, what do I do? I don't want pain anymore. Of course you don't want pain anymore. But by reacting to that pain, you're staying in a very short-term cycle, right? So when you realise that pain actually isn't the problem, and you're a bit more calm about the situation, you then have the logical and the critical thinking to go one step deeper than that and go, okay, I feel pain when I do this. Okay, you can start to think logically, rather than if you're addressing the pain, you're reacting to an emotion. You're reacting to the pain and you're scared. You become scared, it's a pattern. Just remember that pain is not the problem, right? And use the pain as the most potent, accurate guide to how you can get strong. You don't need anybody on the internet. You don't need any expert, any physical therapist, anybody that's got a doctor degree or whatever. You don't need anybody to tell you what to do, because your symptom tells you what to do. And that's what I hope my channel can actually bring to you, the confidence and the optimism in doing this yourself, right? So it's obvious you're going to be scared of pain. You don't want to be in pain, right? This is obvious. But getting fixated and getting involved in this emotional cesspit when you just need to think logically about it, as a man, you just need to go, right, okay, why did that pain happen? And I'm sure you do a little bit of that as well. Anyway, need to talk about the mindset, because the mindset is the biggest limiting factor I've ever seen. The body will get strong. Trust me. Remember, the way the spine's designed, it's bones and discs stacked on top of each other. You can twist it, you can bend it, you can extend it, you can do a lot of stuff with it. But it's designed for load. It's a bit weird in the way it's curved and stuff like that, but it's designed to absorb the maximum amount of load, right? And the problems usually occur when we stop loading it, or we stop doing a certain thing. More on that in a sec. But when do the problems start occurring? Do you know what I mean? If you think about it, if you stop training lower body in the gym every week, I've just missed legs this week, you stop doing deadlifts. If you stop doing, picking things up, putting things down at work. Here's a fun fact for you. Powerlifting, the deadlift movement has actually one of the lowest injury rates in all of sports. But everybody seems to think that the deadlift is a risk, high risk. It's not true. Look at the research. So, We stop loading something, problems start to occur. We stop loading our knees, knee injuries are going to start to occur. Think about it. The body is designed to predict the next thing that's going to happen to it. So if you don't do anything, the body doesn't become ready for stress. It becomes weaker. It doesn't need to be strong in these areas. So it's going to predict that it's not really required to build strength there. So it's going to just be weak there. And that's because your body is expecting not much stress, not much load, not much specific movement. It's the same as your knees, the same as your shoulders, the same as your elbows. The spine just looks worse, and it's surrounded by nerves, which elevates the panic, the fear, and the hesitation with training these things. I absolutely fucking love this shit. If you love my energy, love my passion, subscribe to the channel, because I want more subscribers. Simple as that. And ultimately, I actually want to build your confidence in doing this stuff, because I genuinely believe it's a fucking hell of a lot easier than you have been led to believe. You should always train in neutral spine. Listen, I was a coach in the army, and we were directed to train people like this. And I'm sure personal training doctoring and physical therapist doctoring and physiotherapy, most of what they probably pushed out over the past 10, 20 years has kept people in this neutral spot. We can't risk bending our spine. Listen, the reason your spine gets injured when it's bending is because you're not strong anymore at bending your spine. It's really simple. I know it might sound overly simple, but think about this. You've got experts on the internet that make things complicated, and you've got experts on the internet that make things really simple. Which gives you the most confidence in doing it yourself? That is my fucking 100,000,000% goal on this channel, right? Neutral spine. Listen, if you only train in neutral spine, your body will never be strong or resilient in any of the other spine functions. Bending, extending, rotating, laterally flexing, and the other way, flexing that. Whatever you train, your body's going to be stronger at. As simple as that. It doesn't change because it's the spine. Your DNA doesn't change because of the part of the body. If you're training your bicep, you're training your bicep. If you're training your spine, you're training your spine. It's exactly the same. But there's a lot of emotions attached to the spine. Strengthening it. Rules. Don't be scared. Listen, you got this. Remember, if you can detach yourself from a little bit of pain, which is so important with the spine, by the way, because there is going to be flare-ups. You're going to sleep awkwardly one time in the next few months. You're going to eat a certain food that's going to cause inflammation. You're going to have flare-ups. And you're probably going to have flare-ups with a spine injury or spine pain, back pain, lower back pain, neck pain. You're probably going to have more flare-ups than somebody who would have an elbow injury. Just expect that, and expect to go, okay, expect that, and be able to detach yourself from the pain and go, okay, all you need to do is make an adjustment in your head to your training session and still progress, right? So you need to assess which spine function causes the symptoms, and usually this is flexion, right? However, if you've got a disc bulge, a lower back disc bulge, L4, L5, or you've got S1 disc bulge or something like that, or a herniation, all these different technical terms for these issues, you may get symptoms in extension. Just depends, right? But mostly you get symptoms during flexion. But again, this rule and this format that I'm going to give you applies to both. Basically, train the others first. So whatever causes you the biggest drama, make that exercise a hell of a lot easier till it doesn't give you the symptom, but also prioritize, while also prioritizing the other functions of the spine. So try making the flexion exercise a lot easier. For example, if you can't lower your spine in a flexed state, standing up and doing light dumbbells, then sit down and do it body weight. Like, there's always easier ways, and this requires you to be intelligent and dynamic and actually care about strengthening these areas, because you will find a way that doesn't provide you with symptoms. Easy ways you can do that is reduce the weight, reduce the range of motion, or sit down. Simple, right? You're going to revisit the original flexion exercise that caused the symptom every month, just to see if there's any difference. You're going to record with a camera your movement and your symptoms, talk through the symptom as well, say, all right, yeah, I don't really feel it as much this week. It causing me a 6 or a 7 out of 10 pain. A month later, that might be a 4 or a 3. So you're caring, you're added, basically, you're increasing your personal stuff, you're increasing your training standards, because now you're actually bringing data into the equation when emotions are high, because it's the spine at the end of the day. Of course, emotions are going to be high, but you're just bringing data in as the foundation to guide your progress and for you to acknowledge your progress. You're going to stick to a plan that trains your spine hard 1 to 3 times per week. This is going to get you some serious gains. I'm going to give you the program in a sec. You're going to train the rest of your body, not just your spine, because that's boring. And this is one of the problems, and this is one of the gaps that physiotherapists have. You go to them with a problem, pay £60 for a consultation, they will give you a bunch of exercises, a list of exercises for that issue specifically. They don't give a fuck about your other shoulder, your other elbow, your knee, your lower back. They don't care, because they're limited time, they've got full clinics. It's like a factory, sausage factory. However, I do fucking care, right? Train the rest of your body. Okay, remember, this is the most important thing. What I said earlier on, the pain is not the problem. You will follow these rules, you will follow this program, and you will become pain-free. However, the pain was never the problem, so who the fuck gives a shit whether you are pain-free? The only thing that benefits, the only thing that you should gain from becoming pain-free is confidence that the training in which you've just done is actually working. That should not be a stop sign to go, well, hey, I'm now pain-free. No, that's stupid. You've just proven to yourself how valuable it is. Why then just go, I'm going to stop? Because just stopping is going to bring it back. You're just going to snapshot back to the old version of yourself with a weak glass back. So, once you are pain-free, that is you at the start line. Build some serious strength and build some resilience, because this issue has been highlighted as being a weak issue. Make it one of your greatest strengths. Use this as a moment to raise your standards. Strengthening it yourself. Program template. Assumption. Your back hurts during flexion. The reason I've assumed that is because I can't assume every friggin' injury. Do you know what I mean? Obviously. Warm up. McGill Big 3. Put this onto YouTube. There's loads of videos on this. Right. Session 1. You're going to focus on spine extension for 3 sets. You're going to pick one exercise that does spine extension really well. That's one thing that people do, and this is crazy, right? And if they've got a weak area, if they've got an area that causes them pain, they all of a sudden go into rehab mode. And rehab mode are simply exercises that you do off the cuff. They're exercises in which you do at the end of a session. These exercises are your utmost priority, so do them first when you have got the most brain power to do them. Concentration, focus, precision. Spine extension, 1 exercise, 3 sets, do it well and do it hard. Because if your symptoms come on through flexion, then extension should be okay. Then you're going to go into Romanian deadlifts, you're going to go into glute bridge, you're going to go into leg curl. So we're going to focus on that posterior chain. Science word. Session 2, don't call it rehab either. Rehab keeps you in a low ceiling, low frequency type of state. Fuck rehab. It's just strength training. It's just you, whatever capabilities you currently are at, it's just you building your current physical capabilities. Stop calling it rehab, call it physical development. That's all it is. Right? Session 2, anti-rotation. 1 really good exercise, train it hard, laser focus, do that exercise first. Then you're going to go into a body. Bench press, incline dumbbell press, lat pull down, and a dumbbell row. Pretty straightforward. Session 3, flexion visit. Now I'm going to have to stand up for this, right? Because think about your actually symptoms come on during flexion, right? Which is when you bend your spine like this. You're going to have to make it easier. You're going to have to find a way to do a little bit of flexion at a reduced intensity. So, I'm going to put my little mic down. So if it hurts standing up, doing that. Or if it hurts in that seated guard type of position, when you're getting your back stacked, or you're getting stacked on jiu-jitsu, or somebody's passing your guard and they've got, double unders, and it's starting to create panic and create, fucking hell, then understand that that is another person who probably weighs 60, 70, 80 kilos putting a lot of force through your lower back, right? So you can build up to that easily and you can progress that. So what I'd recommend is simply just standing up and seeing if you can do flexion, body weight, chin on chest, round your shoulders, tense your core, and you're just going to do a forward bend like that. And you'll be very surprised that you can actually probably do that really well. And even though you get symptoms during flexion, body weight flexion might be alright. If you can't do standing body weight flexion, even though you may be panicking and scared to try it, mostly you'll be alright, because your body's a lot stronger than you think it is. If you can't do standing, just do it sitting down. Exactly the same exercise, seated, as I am now on a nice comfortable chair. Build up after that with dumbbells. Once you've done half body weight dumbbells, seated, then go back to body weight standing, add dumbbells. Progress the load through flexion. You understand how the process goes. Simple, but you just have to find your current start point in that spine function. I've given you 3 sessions there, 1, 2 and 3. Repeat these sessions as many times as you can during the week, right? However, make sure that you can effectively recover from them, because that's the most important thing. If you can only if your current capacity level allows you to only train these sessions you only do these sessions 3 times per week, then only do them 3 times per week. However, I would recommend running these 3 in a row, back to back, having a day's rest, and then trying to get another time in as well. So you're doing 6 lifting sessions per week. That'd be absolutely fantastic. The most important thing is recoverable volume, and only you know the answer to that. Just remember, you have to have that progress mindset. Don't simply just do an exercise to then feel pain-free for a couple of hours. You have to have the intent to make progress week after week, just like every other muscle in your body, just like every other training session. Progress, you're a man. We need to be making progress, or we fall into a cesspit of shit thinking. Gentlemen, that is it from me for this video. Hopefully you appreciate it. I love doing this one because the spine is an area that catches a lot of people off guard. They just cannot bring themselves to load the spine, which is crucial for them getting themselves out of these issues. If anything that I've discussed today you need one-to-one intense help with, the first link in the description is to book onto a call with me and discuss your options on my one-to-one coaching program. For the rest of yous, see you tomorrow.